Okay. So the next chapter, rescuing Nand Maharaj from Varun Loka. So variegated, all attractive pastimes of Krishna increase the pleasure of those devotees who hear the expert narration of the Puranas. And when one hears about Krishna's exploits, uh, then all other stories look worthless. So, because Krishna is an overflowing reservoir of all good qualities, hearing about his activities gives full satisfaction to the ears. And of course, the main reason is that Krishna is Rasraj. He knows how to exchange all the rasas. So, splendid, all attractive transcendental form, gracefully curved from head to toe, is worthy of everyone's respect and worship. So, Krishna's pastime of lifting Govardhan that enchants the entire universe. So, Vraj Gopas are famous for relishing these pastimes. Uh, because these pastimes of Krishna are more intimate than the pastimes of Lord Narayan with the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha. So, in this way, when Krishna was residing in Vrindavan, he would wear brilliant tilak made from kumkum. He had curly dark blue hairs and he would wear ornaments of buckler flowers on his hairs. So, in this way, Krishna defeats thousands of cupids with his sweet beauty and he brings ever increasing good fortune for the Vraj gopis who are expert in 64 arts. Krishna protects the world from disturbance of proud atheists like Indra. So Indra, because he was a devotee, Krishna didn't kill him. Krishna didn't punish him. Krishna just shattered his pride. That is how he deals with the devotees. He doesn't have to punish them. He just destroys their false pride. So Shiva and all other devatas glorify Krishna for devastating the demonic descendants of Aditi. That is, so not Aditi, Diti. Yeah. And here in this case, uh, descendant of Aditi also. That's Indra. He devastated his false ego. He satisfies the heart of all observers with the exquisite pearl necklace sitting on his dark blue chest. Krishna is called Nandanandan, the beloved son of Nanda Maharaj, who is king of Gokul. Krishna is also known as Govinda because he lifted Govardhan. Uh, so that's why he's also called Govardhan Dhriti. So he lifted Govardhan to curb the pride of Indra. And because his beauty is enhanced by his natural gravity, that's why he's also called Govardhan Dhriti. Supreme Lord passes his days enjoying various loving pastimes with inhabitants of Vrindavan. So, in this way, Krishna and his effulgent companions, other Gopas, they continue to perform this pleasing pastime of herding the cows. And on one Ekadasi day, Nanda Maharaj, who's king of the Gopas, happily observed this fast of Ekadasi. Next day was Devadasi, and on Devadasi, Nanda Maharaj had to break the fast at the right moment in order to complete his vow, as you are seeing here in this slide. But due to short breaking period, he hastily bathed in Yamuna River at an inappropriate time along with his some friends, other Gopas. And Nanda Maharaj didn't consider it inoffensive, although it was inauspicious time, because he was supposed to honor the Dwadasi Tithi also. So, following the rules of scriptures, he submerged himself reverentially in Yamuna, as you can see here. Okay. But then what happened is, hmm, so, uh-huh, the previous one. Okay. So the servants of Varuna, so they arrested Nanda Maharaj. They thought it is night time. How can he bathe in the night time? Because Brahma Muhurta had not yet come. It was just maybe few minutes before Brahma Muhurta. And they put him in great distress for bathing too early in the morning, which they counted as night time, not Brahma Muhurta. So Nanda Maharaj, he had impeccable character, but due to slight deviation from the rules, he was seized by the associates of Varun Dev. Varun Dev, who is known as the Lord of the Waters. And unaware of his destination, Nanda Maharaj was completely distraught. So that's how they caught Nanda Maharaj and took him away. Yeah. So standing on the bank of Yamuna, friends of Nanda Maharaj, other Gopas, they panicked with fear and confusion and they shouted, "What happened? What happened? What has happened? What has happened? Oh, what has happened?" And seeing that they could not do anything to help Nanda Maharaj, they approached Krishna, who destroys all fear, and they spoke with great anxiety. They said, "O Kahana, one who rewards all pious and punishes the evil, befriends the distressed, and delivers the bound. Please help us, please help us, please help us. Because something tragic has happened. Some proud persons kidnapped your father, who is worshipable even by Lord Brahma. So while he was bathing in Yamuna, these people took him away. O mighty armed one, please save. Trahimam, Trahimam. Go there and deliver Atrayatam, because only you can save him from this terrible calamity." And in this way, all the Gopas, they ran helplessly hither and thither on the banks of Yamuna. So, hearing their anguish cries, Krishna considered. He immediately understood that this is the irreversible action of the foolish and lowly servants of Varun Dev. So, this same something which happens when somebody is too confident about the Vedic rules which he is following. So, the tendency is that one starts offending other people, thinking they don't know. And that's why Lord Chaitanya would count it as a pride of education. Pride of education means I know that you don't know that. So they didn't knew that what offense are they creating? They are imprisoning Father of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hmm. So thinking like that, that what they have done, then we can see the next slide. Krishna submerged in the Yamuna in order to visit the city of Varun Dev to bless him with his presence. So Krishna knew that it is not mistake of Varun Dev, it is the mistake of his servants. So for some reasons, Krishna felt attracted to Varuna, even though he had improperly treated his father Nanda Maharaj. And the reason is Krishna doesn't see the immediate thing, Krishna knows the heart. He knows how great devotee Varun Dev is. Because some of the demigods are also pure devotees of the Lord. Hmm. And then you can see in the next slide. Yeah. So when young gopis of Gokul and everyone else on the bank of river saw that Nanda Maharaj has left and now Krishna also has left for abode of Varun Dev, they fell in deep depression. So although Vraj gopis never permanently saw Krishna because daytime they were not allowed to see Krishna, but because of their intense attachment to him and because Krishna stayed in their village, they felt as if Krishna is living with them in the same house. But now, fearing that he had departed for the other world somewhere else, gopis lost all strength and collapsed on the ground. And at this time, Yuga Aitam Nimesena, one moment was looking like thousands of yugas. So in this state, gopis could not hear anything, see anything, or say anything. And their minds went with Krishna and their bodies shook uncontrollably. Uh, so in this world of changes, only pure love is constant. So although withering away due to separation from Krishna, Radharani somehow managed to sustain her life by the power of her Krishna Prem. Other gopis were finding Radharani with lotus, tal leaves. They were sprinkling her with sandalwood water. Hmm. But still, Priya Sakhis of Radhika could not reduce her fever of separation from Krishna. But somehow at that time, she got a friend called Murcha. Murcha means she became unconscious. And because of becoming unconscious, her fire of separation could be extinguished because she went into a different world. Seeing the filaments of cotton held under her nose moving slightly with her breathing, Sakis could understand that Radharani is still living. We can find similar symptoms in Lord Chaitanya. When he saw Jagannath, he fainted, and Sarvam Bhattacharya kept some cotton in his nose. And he could see the fine filaments were moving. He could understand that he's in Krishna Prem, Mahabhav. Because only Lord Chaitanya Radharani experienced this Mahabhav. So when a smart Sakhi, she said, Radhika, Krishna is coming, Krishna is coming. And immediately Radharani opened her eyes and she returned to external consciousness with great difficulty. But again, not seeing Krishna, she was just staring into the space. Where is Krishna gone? Her eyes were looking like pair of blue lotuses painted on the canvas. So even though Radharani heard her friend saying, Krishna will be coming in a moment. Don't worry, Krishna is coming in a moment. She thought, if one moment becomes like one yoga of time, am I to be blamed for suffering such pains of separation? That means even one moment is looking like a yoga because of pain of separation. Not seeing Krishna before her, Radha felt even more anguished. Hot sparks of fire in her heart shot forth as tears mixed with her kajal, and it dripped in form of black streams down her golden face. And so this was happening here in the banks of Yamuna, and there on the other side, you can see here. Krishna, who is the abode of mercy, proceeded to the abode of Varun Dev. And as soon as Varun Dev saw Krishna, he humbly and courteously received Krishna. Filled with affection, he worshipped Krishna with argya and other articles. Varun Dev praised the effulgent Supreme Lord as the reservoir of all exceptional characteristics, the one who is embodiment of all happiness, the very form of concentrated bliss and knowledge. Uh, and then Varun Dev began to glorify Krishna. So Varun Dev said, my dear Lord, you are Garbha Ratna, you are jewel of the womb of Devaki. You shine brilliantly among the Devatas headed by Shiva. I offer my respects unto you. You descend as an avatara in the on the earth, uh, Ratna Garbha of her burden, Bharav. So he come to relieve basically the burden of the earth. Your handsome form and qualities defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. You stand before us as the spotlessly pure and blissful son of Nanda Maharaj. The dust, Raja, we can say brother Raj. So dust, Raj, of your lotus feet has removed my covering of Rajas. That's passion. So all the residents of my city have now become purified by your auspicious presence. Today my birth has become successful. Due to possessing fabulous wealth, what to do? My knowledge has been covered. So there's something we can find remarkable in his uh, attitude. It's Varun Dev's servants who did a mistake, and Varun Dev is accepting his mistake and saying that I was blinded by wealth and that's why my knowledge was covered. And that's the attitude which pleases Krishna. And then he said, therefore, I could not understand your infallible position as the master of the Maya and the controller of all devouring time. So, O Madhava, O creator of all the universes, you should not keep men like me blinded by your illusory potency. So please remove my Maya, basically he's saying. Even the best of the Munis cannot surpass your Maya. O killer of Agasur, you have all desirable characteristics. So although my servants think themselves very clever, they don't have a drop of intelligence also. They have committed a terrible act by bringing your father here. At the same time, they have bestowed a great boon upon me. So they have destroyed your Leela, but because they brought your father here, we got opportunity to see you here. And then you can see in the next slide. Yes. So the associates of Varuna also come there. And then he says, indeed, I have offended you who are so rarely attained by anyone in this world. Due to pride, I have violated the rules of conduct. By keeping the dust of a lotus feet as the crown jewel on my head, however, I may nullify the poisonous fever caused by my severe offense. O Lord of Lords, your splendid complexion easily conquers the glistening trunk of a young tamal tree. Shiva, the father of Kartikeya, and all the demigods worship you, whose eyes are beautiful lotus petals, and who has a splendidly contoured belly, who radiates a dazzling effulgence, whose graceful arms extend to your knees, and who wears a gorgeous forest garland, Vajanti Mala. So I worship that super excellent transcendental form. So after praising Krishna in this way, Varna took sweet fragrant water in his hands and washed Krishna's lotus feet, which are abode of all auspiciousness, and which removes all other calamities. And then Varunadev said, O Supreme Lord, O subduer of the demons, please be merciful to me. Please take whatever jewels you want from my kingdom. Because beneath the sea, there are so many jewels. So he said, you can take whatever jewels you want. Because actually everything belongs to you. What more can I say? Even I belong to you. I am also your servant. So all my pious acts have borne fruit by receiving your darshan today. If the desire to see you arises within a person, it will not disappear all of a sudden. Therefore, just to taste the bliss of seeing you, I have safely kept your father here. O ornament of the earth, please forgive my offense. Though the servant may be forgiven, the master should be punished for the offense of his servant. So my servants can be forgiven, but punish me. I deserve severe punishment for this act. In this way, having given up his false pride, Varundev folded his arms and stood meekly before the Lord. And when Krishna heard that, he became very compassionate. So he said, O Lord of the waters, I am pleased with your motives and the statements of your love for me. So I don't want any wealth. Keep whatever wealth you have with you. And although I have come from a distant place, because you are my devotee, this is my residence also. And that's a great blessing for Varundev. Krishna is saying this is my residence. So after speaking a few immeasurably sweet words, Nandanandan Krishna, he placed his father in front and he calmly went home. And you can see in the next slide. Yes. And when everybody heard Krishna has returned, there was an auspicious roar that Krishna has returned, Krishna has returned, Krishna has returned. In all the direction it was heard, Krishna has returned, Krishna has returned. Immediately the minds of Radhika and gopis, some was in anxiety. At the same time, they were floating in liquid current of nectar. Yes, Krishna has finally come back. And somehow gopis revived Radharani, and everybody was filled with boundless happiness. Yes. And then Nanda Maharaj, he entered a state of confusion after having seen uh, the immense opulence of Varun Dev. So when he saw that Varun Dev had such an opulent city and how he was showing respect to Krishna, and after hearing the Varun Dev's praise to his son, Nanda Maharaj was like bewildered. Bewildered in the sense that, my God, my son is so great. Now you can see in the next slide. So with great animation, Nanda Maharaj explained all the experiences to the Vrajavasis, what he had seen in the abode of Varun Dev. So although cowherd men felt happy to hear this, but they also felt very grave. And then they start thinking that without a doubt, maybe Krishna is the Lord of the universe. He's the same Lord who is being described so in the scriptures. And then during this exchange, they wondered whether Krishna would show them his great unlimited aspect of effulgent impersonal Brahman. So actually, they knew that they were in the most fortunate condition, and that was because of his humility. In another episode, it happens once that some Brahmins come from some other village to Vrajmandal, and they see how all these Vrajvasis were attached to Krishna. So these Brahmins say, human form of life is meant for self-realization, and you're wasting your time in attachment to your family, children. You're talking about no, all these children and this and that. And Vrajvasis were thinking, yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, we are supposed to worship Lord Narayan. We are wasting our life and being attached to all our children. So being humble, they didn't knew they're in such a fortunate condition. So they thought maybe goal of life is to. We have heard people saying that we have to enter in Brahma Jyoti and this and that. They must have heard from some impersonalist here. So knowing that desire, Krishna decided to bestow his mercy. Uh, and then now you can see in the next slide. Yes. So to make them realize that personal form of Brahman, or how personal form is more blissful than impersonal Brahman, Krishna for some time deprived them of Krishna Prem, taste for Krishna Prem basically. Because Krishna wanted to remove any doubt that the Vrajavasis had about their future destination. Because they were worrying, Supreme Personality of Godhead is staying with us. We have not take benefit of Supreme Personality of Godhead to get liberated. So Krishna was doing that. So in this way, covering their knowledge with darkness of illusion, Krishna showed them the brilliant impersonal Brahman. And somehow in this Brahman, Gopas could not taste the bliss of directly fondling Krishna or experiencing the bliss of fondling Krishna. So in this way, Gopas felt pained on being deprived of their previous realization of Krishna. They think this was that was better. This is so boring. So out of compassion, then Krishna removed their bewilderment and withdrew the Brahman effulgence. So they realized, no, no, Brahman is not blissful. Kevalam narkayate. At least in material world, you can worship deities. You can hear kirtans, chant kirtans, hear Krishna Katha. Nothing is there in Brahman. So they realized that. And after that, as you can see in the next slide, then Krishna revealed Vaikuntha planets, which are full of auspiciousness, They have ever increasing bliss. Vaikuntha, there's no kuntha, there is no anxiety. And after binding them in the wish of liberation, Krishna removed the illusion from his loving devotees. So by this, Krishna saw that his devotees don't attain the painful liberation desired by others. And after awakening from trance, now they were beholding the pleasing Vaikuntha realm, which is situated far, far beyond the modes of material nature. And they were thinking, is it possible to hear, touch, smell, or perceive anything in Vaikuntha? So they were thinking like that. So although they had experienced merging in impersonal Brahman and the happiness of Vaikuntha, when they finally realized that they could not see Krishna face to face, whose sweetness surpasses all, including happiness of Brahman or Vaikuntha, they felt a moment without him to be like thousands of yugas. So they were seeing such a opulent Vaikuntha and they were feeling, but where is Krishna here? Where is Krishna here? So without joy of Krishna's association, they were feeling like miserable wretches without shelter. And now they realized that realizing Krishna is the greatest happiness. Yes. Now Krishna showed his form. So in order to dissipate their suffering and renew their happiness, Krishna, who is the reservoir of rasa and cause of all causes, withdrew that vision of Vaikuntha and now revealed his sweet personal form of Vrindavan. Seeing Krishna before them, now Vrajavasis were drowned in wave of pleasure. They realized that Krishna's ever fresh and enchanting Vrindavan pastimes on the earth surpass the bliss and wonder of merging in Brahman or attaining even Vaikuntha. So Krishna proved that. On the other hand, those philosophers whose intelligence is infected with bad logic and arguments have great difficulty understanding the supremacy of Krishna. They can't realize that how a person can be so sweet more than Brahman or Vaikuntha. And what to speak of miscreants who can neither search for nor attain the Lord. So simply with a wink, Krishna showed the impersonal Brahman to the residents of Vrindavan. And seeing this as an obstacle in Krishna, pure love, Krishna immediately withdrew it. So anyway, everything is possible by Leela Shakti of the Lord. So even today, if you go to Vrindavan and nearby places, so I belong to a place which is near to birthplace of Vyasdev. So where the birthplace of Vyasdev is called Kalpi. So I just stay near there. So there Yamuna flows. Yamuna is very wide there. So even today, there is a culture at that place that on this day, when Krishna showed the form, Vaikuntha Chodas. So that time, uh, all the people they make deities of Krishna from the mud, they worship Krishna, remembering this pastime. So there's a pastime on which even today thousands of Vrajavasis and people around Vraja they remember this pastime. Krishna showing Vaikuntha to Vrajavasis. Yeah. So there's a short pastime, and now the topmost pastime. So according to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Madhur Ras is highest. Radharani is the topmost devotee. And among all the pastimes of Krishna, Ras Lila is the best. Ras Lila is the best. Like for Vallabha Sampradaya, Vasal Ras is the highest Ras. Yasoda is the greatest devotee. And Damodar Lila is the highest Lila. So for us, Ras Lila is the highest Lila. So that begins in chapter number 17 and continues in the further chapters. Further chapters are just about Ras Lila. So after breaking the pride of all devatas headed by Brahma, Now Krishna conquered the god of love also. So seeing the full moon night of Sarat Purnima, which is celebrated by all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and all the Vrajavasis, Krishna desired to enjoy Rasa dance on Sarat Purnima. So in this transcendental pastime, Krishna tested the enchanting powers of his companion who always stays with him, who is very simple, although filled with flutes, filled with holes. That's the flute. He embraced all the young gopis in his arms and realized the pure love of Rajkumaris, who had previously worshipped Katyani without deviation. So by this time, the Rajkumari's attraction to Krishna flowed like a rushing stream of nectar. And before continuing with the further pastime, actually this pastime is considered so great because so many devotees who had that desire to intimately serve Krishna with their own bodies were waiting for many, many yugas. Because even Lord of Vaikuntha, whether it is Lord Ram or Lord Narsinghdev or Varadev or anyone, they have that reverential mood. So the devotees who want to very intimately serve the Supreme Lord, they had no opportunity. So this Rasliya is considered so great because Krishna gives opportunity to all these devotees who have been waiting for yogas. Because he is the only personality who allows devotees to serve him in such an intimate way. And that is why this Rasila is considered so great. So great. So, like we were discussing, there were devotees from Patal Lok who were serving Nag Kanyas who were serving Lord Sankarshan. They had a desire to associate intimately with the Lord. The ladies of Patal Lok who saw the form of Vaman, they were saying, "Oh, Bali Maharaj, please give us in charity to this Brahmana. Let him get married." And they were praying that let this Brahmana ask for us in charity. So their desire were fulfilled. Ladies of Mithila, they want to marry Lord Ram. Their desire got fulfilled. All the Yagga Sitas, their desire got fulfilled. So many ladies, so many devotees, they were waiting for Krishna to allow him to intimately serve him. And now their desires were getting fulfilled. So by this time, Vraj Kumari's attraction to Krishna flowed like a rushing stream of nectar. The fruit of their prema had been maturing from day that Krishna accepted them. And understanding that their prema had ripened now, Krishna thought, tonight I will enjoy Ras Leela with my dearest Radhika, other gopis, and all these young girls. So to facilitate his pastime, he lengthened the night to equal the duration of Brahma's night. That means one night became equal to Brahma's night. And when I heard that, I was so happy. Because I would generally become angry with Krishna thinking, he just stayed for 11 years in Vrindavan. Why did he leave Vrajavasis who love him so intimately? So I thought, no, everything is good. But when I, if I get an opportunity to back to Godhead, I'll certainly ask Krishna, why did he leave Vrajavasis? Hmm. But no, no. So he lengthened the night of Ras Purnima to one night of Brahma. So Krishna spent more time with Vrindavan in that sense. So he strengthened the determination of young girls who had been kept in their parents' houses on previous nights. So previously, they were not able to come out, but now he increased their determination that they should come out in some way so that he can have Ras Leela with them. So on that night, the young girls being maddened with desire to please Krishna, they easily overcame all the obstacles and took shelter of the forest. So give me a minute. So on this particular night, as you can see here, so those effulgent, well-behaved young gopis whom he had already accepted before quickly ran in the forest. And seeing them standing before him like the presiding deities of the full moon night, eager to satisfy his desires, Krishna said, "Oh, you have come here with such a great endeavor." After saying this, Krishna thought how to keep his promise to them, because he promised them that I will have Ras Leela. So, knowing their intentions and Krishna's desire to enjoy intimate pastimes with them, Yogamaya, who is Krishna's own internal potency, made all the necessary arrangements. The nights in which Krishna enjoyed his Ras Leela surpass the splendor of spring, summer, autumn seasons combined. Because in this night, everything best of all the seasons were available. The best of the flowers of the three seasons simultaneously bloomed and inundated the forest with incomparable aromas. Then you can see the next slide. Yeah. The pleasing, indistinct sound of cuckoos. You can see the cuckoos there sitting on the trees. They vibrate in all the directions. The south wind blew gently, carrying the fragrance of honey laden madhavi blossoms. Swarms of intoxicated young bees moved among the mallika creepers. You can see that also in this photo, painting, sorry. Creepers drinking the nectar of half opened blossoms. Loud buzzing of these bees was like trumpeting conch shell of the spring festival. So they were zzz, it was making sound like a conch shell. Lazy herons and love-crazed ducks swam about in the various lakes. Bees played in the blooming clumps of lotus flowers. The bright full moon rose quickly and moved into the position for its service. Rising in the pink sky, this moon looked like round dye tub for Cupid to color the cloth of the hearts of young men and women. So moon was looking like that. It looked like a golden earring reflected on the passion-flushed cheeks of goddess of fortune. It was looking so beautiful. The rising moon appeared like a copper clock in the sky, announcing the time for releasing the sweet rasa dance. The moon appeared like blissful face of the wife of Indra, the lord of eastern direction. As the moon, anxious to see Krishna, continued rising, it turned yellow in color like fresh sprouts. Millions of stars twinkled attractively in the clean, clear autumn sky. The moon appeared like a swan dyed yellow from touching the pollens of golden lotus flowers growing in the lakes of eastern directions. It appeared like an offering of butter churned from the ocean of yogurt by embodiment of time. So the fresh butter from pure milk looks golden. Hmm. As the moon continued its upward journey, it turned more and more white in color. It looked like a white pavilion of the king of seasons, supported by the ropes of its fine race. So just as rivers burning in its impression often look through half closed eyes, whether intoxicated in love. Similarly, at this time, due to its brilliant rays, one could only view the moon through squinting eyes. The full moon looked like a plump white dove sitting in the next of the sky, fixed in pavilion of the universe. And the moon and its spots looked like crystal box with reflections of betel nuts on it. But if you say crystal box does not move, then we say that the moon appears like a sparkling silver boat crossing the ocean of the sky under the direction of the captain of time. Because Bog doesn't move, but the moon moves, especially the full moon moves from east to west. If you say that the spots of the moon make it inauspicious, then we say that it is still beautiful and auspicious. It is just like silver pot decorated with ornament leaves belonging to the bride of the night. Yeah. In this way, moon glitters like diamond earring of the playful Lord Balram. It is like an egg produced by the swan of fame of autumn season. Moon is like cool, soft pillow to relieve Cupid's fever caused by his own pride. It is like a malati mala tied in the hair of spotless effulgence of goddess of twilight. So in this way, this indicates that chaste women worship the moon. So this is glory of moon, moon of autumn season. Uh, Sometimes I've seen some senior devotees. One of the senior devotees, I can tell his name, Radharand Maharaj, was once in Vada and he was glorifying moons for hours. And devotees wonder, "Arey, what is so great about moon? Why is he glorifying moon?" Because you are remembering this Ras Leela. Against the dark blue sky, the white moon appears like the Panchajanya conch shell hanging on the darkened body of Vishnu. It is like silver umbrella of Cupid. Materialists are satisfied with successful harvest produced by its nourishing rains. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am moon and I provide the nourishment to the vegetables and herbs. Hmm. It looks like splendid crystal bowl holding ghee for yajna, with golden color. Moon situated in the milky ocean of the sky is like the oyster shell box filled with priceless pearls. It is like looking glass of goddess of auspiciousness. It's compared to Chandan Tilak on the maiden of the night or a city of camphor to soothe the eyes. The beautiful full moon appears like huge white lotus floating in the lake of bliss, a pile of foam on the ocean of sweetness, or the palace of goddess of beauty. The full moon looks like sandy bank of Akash Ganga. So just as love intoxicate cuckoos are ornamented with sweet cooing, coo, coo, coo. Similarly, moon is also decorated with 15 attractive phases from Purnima to Amavasya. Yeah. So just as pious king is endowed with treasures collected from his circle of followers, similarly, moon also has orb of radiance. You can see round orb is there. Just as Ram always accompanies Lakshman and the Sarasa bird always stays with his wife, similarly, moon always exists with its spots. But certainly, the spots don't diminish the moonlight. Yeah. They are compared to the fault in exalted souls. Just as a devotee removes misery and gives joy to earth, similarly, the moon relieves suffering and gives happiness, especially in the summer season. Just as sadhu's good instructions act as a medicine to cure a person's faulty intelligence, similarly, moon gives herbs and plants as medicines to cure all diseases, as we were discussing before also. Moon gives nourishment to the herbs and medicines. Just as Kamdev stimulates desires, similarly, moon also increases mutual attraction of Madhuraras. As a man of discrimination destroys the darkness of ignorance, similarly, moonlight removes the darkness from the earth. As Sugriva is the master of his wife named Tara, similarly, moon is also the lord of Tara. Nakshatra nam aham sasi, Krishna says. Among all the stars, I am moon. Though the ocean is always filled with sharks and snakes, Sad ahi makar. Similarly, Sad hemakart Moon is always full of cooling rays. In this way, moon, replete with all good qualities and auspiciousness, illuminate Vrindavan with its rays of light. In the splendid Sarath season, moon, who is the king of the stars, gradually rose to the top of the sky. The moonlight filtering through the leaves and creepers created a wonderful combination of shading and lighting. So when moonlight would come through the between the leaves, it will be like rays coming out. The moon rays seem to be coming through a sieve, hmm, in a form of uh, thin rays of moonlight and spreading in 1,000 pencil rays across the forest floor. And when this would fall on the ground, it will look so beautiful. Acting as a skillful light designer, moon produces perfect atmosphere for the auspicious rasa dance. Nowadays, people do like that in the discotheque, if you have seen. There's some small rays of light coming together. They're trying to imitate Ras Leela by following Raska Leela. The moon hung from the umbrella of the sky with all embellishment with the pearl-like stars. Effulgent rays of the moon seemed like the filaments of huge chamar belonging to the demigods, which is white in color. The moon resembled a white lotus flower strung on a white silk thread through the center of an umbrella of pearls formed by the stars in the sky. Eager to enliven the earth, the moon emanated a unique radiance which soothed and satisfied the mind of people. And it churned the heart of all the gopis. The intoxicating nectar of full moon maddened the world with desire. Encouraged by the splendor of full moon, Krishna took shelter of his effulgent, all enchanting flute. Yeah. So before we continue with the flute, I'll just narrate one more episode. So this is the pastime which is mentioned in Garg Samhita. So when Krishna was staying in Dwarika, so often the queens of Dwarika would see Krishna crying for, oh, where is Radharani? Where is Lalita, Visakha? Where is Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda? So they were wondering what is there in Vrindavan that Krishna is longing for them. But then Nand Muni convinced them that no, actually you are the most beautiful ladies. You are queens of Krishna. And that's why although Krishna is crying for Vrindavan, he is staying with you. So somehow they become little proud. So they requested Krishna once. They said that Krishna, if you're calling for uh, Radharani, Lalita, Visakha, why don't you call them? So Krishna, by his mystic potencies, he called Radharani there. He called all the gopis there. And then uh, all the queens of Dwarika headed by Rukmini, they first served Radharani. And after, so she gave her a lot of fruits and milk and so many things. And Radharani honored them. And then suddenly they saw that there are some burnt marks in the lotus feet of Krishna. So then Rukmini said, my dear Lord, how can there be burnt marks on your feet? Krishna said, what to do? I always stay in the heart of Radharani. So because you served hot meal to Radharani, my feet got burnt. And then they were amazed, my God, what is devotion of Radharani? So then finally, they realized the love of Radharani which she had for Krishna after talking to Radharani. And then they were asking Radharani that can we have Raslila? Because here all the gopis are there, you are there. And additionally, we 16,108 queens of Krishna are also there. So whatever is there in Vrindavan is also here. There is something additional also. So Radharani said, yes, if Krishna desires, so we can have a Raslila here, no problem at all. And then they went to Krishna. So Sri Radharani said, if Krishna wants, we can have. So they went to Krishna. They said, Krishna, can we have Ras Leela? And we know this Ras Leela will surpass all the previous Ras Leelas. Because not just gopis are there, we queens of Dwarka are also there. So we have additional, it's like additional flavor. So Krishna said, okay, fine. If Radharani desires so, then it is possible. So then they went to Radharani and they said, Radharani, you see, all the gopis who were there in Ras Leela, they are there. And we queens of Dwarka are there. So if we have Ras Leela now, surely this would be the best Ras Leela which creation has ever seen. So Radharani was not saying anything till now, but now she just spoke. She said, how can this be the best Ras Leela? Where is that moon which was there in Vrindavan? Where are those creepers which were there in the Vrindavan? Where are the chirping of the cuckoos which were there in Vrindavan? Where is that forest of Vrindavan which is filled with pure devotees everywhere who are filled with Madhur Ras? Where is that beauty of Vrindavan which can actually make Raslila into Raslila? So that's why she said, such a Raslila is only possible in Vrindavan, nowhere else. So that's why it's Raslila, we find such a description of moon is given. Sometimes you may think why such a thing is portrayed here. The reason is that it's not just gopis there, entire forest of Vrindavan is filled with that Madhur Ras. Entire forest of Vrindavan. Even Suk and Sari, who are supposed to be just parrots, they discuss about intimate passion with Radha and Krishna. The Kalpa Vriksha there, Madhavendra Puri, who appeared as Madhavendra Puri, he releases such Madhur Ras. So in Vrindavan, even the lower rasas are mixed with all the higher rasas. Like all the cows, they have Vatsal Ras for Krishna. Similarly, all these trees, creepers, birds of Vrindavan, they are mixed with Madhur Ras. So they relish these Madhur Ras of Krishna. So it's not like just some Krishna coming with the gopis and dancing. It's the entire forest of Vrindavan rejoicing in this Madhur Ras during Ras Leela. And that is why we'll find such a description of moon is given here. Okay, now let us come back to uh, this pastime, Anand Vrindavan Champu. So in this way, encouraged by the splendor of the full moon, Krishna took shelter of his effulgent, all enchanting flute. Endowed with matchless fame, Krishna's flute pleases the minds of everyone and it forcibly attracts the young gopis of Vrindavan. So, without making any distinctions, that flute of Krishna enthuses everyone in heaven and even on the earth. So, though Krishna's flute has the power to attract all the living beings, by the will of the Lord, only certain ones, such as deer, cows, birds, and young gopis who have that Madhur Ras, they come. Seeing the rising moon, Krishna vibrate captivate tunes on a sweet murli. Hearing it, each gopi thought Krishna is calling for her alone. As they absorbed themselves in the blissful vibration, gopis became oblivious to all other sounds, manifesting its own personality. The flute sound transcended all the obstacles and the impediments in order to bring supreme fortune to the gopis. The flute's sweet song uprooted the gopis' heart, drank up their intelligence, they couldn't think anything, liquid their self control, they gave up all the self control, and blurred their vision. They couldn't see anything except Krishna. Their minds entered a state of insanity, as if they're mad, and their bodies were shaking in ecstasy. They could see only paths leading to Krishna. So this flute sounded a death blow to the proper conduct and family reputation. It was Agama Shastra for destroying one's patience and self control. It had cast an unbreakable spell upon the Vrajgopis. Suffering intense pains of lust from hearing the selective calls of Krishna's Murali, gopis desired only to meet Krishna. So, though soft and sweet, the sound of the flute acted like a mad elephant intent on enjoying his pastimes. Showing great skill, he broke through the fences of their families, destroyed their self restraint, and turned the innocent young girls into wanton ladies. This is the power of the flute. Ah, yes. Rukmini Mata has some comment to make. हाँ, रुक्मिणी माता जी. Hare Krishna. Oh, something happened. Seems like internet trouble. Okay, so let us wait for her to come back and then she can ask question. Okay. So now we can go to the next slide. Yes. So the flute sound created extraordinary effects when it touched the ears of that excellent Gopi Radhika. It turned her into an intoxicated person and becoming dizzy, Radharani lost all shyness and self-control. Her intelligence bewildered, she uttered nonsense words. The state of intoxication differed from the type of intoxication created by wine, which reddens the eyes. So Radhika's eyes did not turn red from intoxicating sound of flute, but they filled her with tears. But will the tears not become red from wiping away the tears of love? No. The sound of Krishna's flute is the joy of all joys, secret of all secrets, festival of all festivals, impeller of all impellers, to the force one to meet with him. Upon hearing their own names blended in the melody of Krishna's flute, all the Kumaris, though they were far away from Krishna, felt very close to their object of love. So, although they had no prior arrangements for a rendezvous, and though they engaged in the daily course, all gopis at once decided to go to Krishna. Immediately, upon hearing the dancing notes of the flute, gopis left the village of Vrindavan. They moved as if under the influence of malefic star. Malefic star means person become mad. Or they were looking like puppets strung on a single thread or a rain falling from a cloudless sky. Their irresistible prema flashed like lightning within them. The unexpected appearance of their cherished object of love baffled their intelligence. Gopis resembled golden creepers that had been broken and thrown into the lake of intense attraction. They were looking like land lotuses crushed by intoxicated elephants of their desires. Verily, they existed as the embodiment of loving hankerings. And due to their acute longing for Krishna, gopis lost all fear of criticism. The young girls looked like immensely beautiful with their earrings swinging as they moved hastily along the path. They totally concentrated on the object of their desire, that's Krishna. Pursuing the sound of flute, they appeared like golden lights seeking in the wind or flames spreading in all the directions. So the sadhana siddha gopis, Sruticharis gopis, Munichari gopis were one group among the many famous Vraj gopis who were attending the rasa dance. These gopis happily spend their days obeying their parents and performing their daily duties. But on this day of Ras Leela, upon hearing Krishna's flute song, they immediately abandoned their engagements of cooking, milking cows, fetching water, and so on. You can see this in the next slide. So they just stopped doing all the works. That alluring sound made them fly in the sky on the wings of their anxious hearts. So some gopis left rice boiling on the stove and quickly went to Krishna. So you can see this gopi leaving rice boiling and running away. And then you can see the next two slides. Yes. Others abruptly left circle of the relatives and ran out of the forest paths, out to the forest paths. That you can see in the next slide also. So the relatives who were there, they just left everything and they ran. Some lotus-eyed gopis who were feeding milk to the babies of the married gopis kept them on the ground and ran away. You can see in the next slide. So children were crying, but they just left them and they ran away. You can see here also. Children were crying and they just ran away. The Munichari gopis, who had been great sages of Dandakaranya and maintained Parkiya Bhava for Krishna within the core of their hearts, although carefully attending their husbands, they left them immediately upon hearing sound of Krishna's flute and ran. They felt each movement away from Krishna like millions of years. Some of the Munichari gopis, they were taking their evening meals and joking with their families. But upon hearing Krishna's flute song, they instantly stopped eating, rushed off to Krishna. When beckoned by Murli, the Srutichari gopis, although having painted pulp design on one of their breasts, fled rapidly from their houses. Forcibly attracted by the vibration of Krishna's flute, the older Srutichari gopis left massaging of their maidservants. They left them aside and they hastened to the forest without even buttoning their blouses. If the sadhana siddha gopis, Srutichari gopis, Munichari gopis, they are sadhana siddha gopis, they felt such an affliction, one can imagine the condition of Nitya Siddha gopis. So the Nitya Siddha gopis possessed total auspiciousness and eternal spiritual bodies. So permeated with joy, all their limbs longed for the sweet festival of Krishna's loving embrace. And now you can see these are beautiful slides actually. Now you can see in the next slide. Yeah. So you can see in the slide. In their anxiety to meet Krishna, they dress and ornament themselves in haphazard way, putting kajal in one eye. Then you can see the next slide. You can see them carefully. They fasten their necklace on their waist, diamond belts on their chest, ankles on their arms, bracelets on their ankles. So they they wore wrong ornaments at wrong places. You can see in the slide they are showing that. And then you can see in the next slide. Yeah. They held their hip ornaments on their hair ornaments on their hips. Losing all sense of reality, gopis applied kajal only on one eye, alta in one foot, and kumkum on one breast. So in this condition, the bodies looked even more attractive and clearly indicated their heart's burning desire for Krishna. Now you can see the next slide. Some gopis wrapped their upper garments around their legs and their undergarments on their arms. it appeared that limbs behaved as close friends, exchanging clothes for each other. So it was looking as if their one limb is wearing clothes of some other limb. And they tied their slashes around their ankles. Uh, you can see in the next slide. Yeah, wearing different different type of ornaments. As they walked, the tassels on the end of these saris slid down on the ground. The gopis looked like freed elephants dragging their chains behind them. You can see it is looking like chains are they're dragging some chains. Some gopis held their untied slashes in their lotus bud hands as they ran excitedly down the footpath to meet Krishna. And now you can see in the next slide. Yes. So one excited gopi who had applied wet lac dye only on one foot. You can see having lac on only one foot. Stained one side of the path as he raced down the path to Krishna. So the young gopis appeared as beautiful as Parvati, daughter of Himalayas. With her wheels flapping in the pleasant breeze, the gorgeous bodies of the gopis moved like moving flaps of Cupid, advertising their willingness to submit to Krishna. The tinkling of the anklets tied only on one foot appeared to be talking to a mute. Since their constant clatter met no response from one foot, their armlets, haphazardly placed on only one arm, made their arms look more beautiful and auspicious. So even a branch from celestial tree could not compare with the loveliness of their limbs. So that's how they became crazy basically after hearing Krishna's flute. So it's certainly the effect of Krishna's flute, but also it's their love which had got manifest. Same sound of Krishna's flute appears in the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Gayatri Mantra. The Brahma Gayatri, which twice initiated devotees uh, they recite. That's expansion of Krishna's flute sound. But we don't have such an attraction for Krishna because we don't have such a love for Krishna. And now you can see in the next slide. Yeah. So the sound of Krishna's flute entered both the ears. Some of the gopis hung earrings only in one ear. You can see in this gopi. And they could not be blamed for their mistake caused by the flute. After investigating their hurts, the flute song goaded them quickly on the path of their beloved. Sought by the arrows of Cupid, their mind reeled in agitation, and their throats choked from the rapid expulsion of their life airs. They are breathing very heavily. Swelling with expectancy and desire, gopis hastily left their houses. They were looking like prisoners released from life sentence as they happily hurried to the forest. Like somehow, if you break open prison house, all the prisoners will run like anything. So they were running like that. So darting here and there, the restless glances of the gopis looked like shower of blue lotus petals initiating the festival of meeting Krishna. So although desirous, some group of gopis could not meet Krishna. So you'll see some example here in the next slide. Yeah. So the husband of married Rishichari gopis prevented them from leaving the village. So these Srutichari gopis, who were the personified Upanishads, so they were kept in home by their fathers, brothers, friends, posing as the well-wishers. The relatives acted like their greatest enemies. Some of the gopis, however, who burned with the attraction for Govinda, could not be stopped by everyone. They just ran away. So, of course, nobody could stop the Nitya Siddha gopis. who forever displayed the highest degree of aesthetic love, Mahabhav. So there were two types of love seen in the Rishicari gopis. Those gopis who had attained perfection in the love after intense practice conquered no impediments in meeting Krishna, whereas other gopis who had not quite perfected in their love for Krishna could not go out of their houses. So these gopis, even though they were used ladders to escape their houses, their cruel husbands stopped them. And tolerating the obstructions caused by their own perfection, these unfortunate gopis entered in deep state of meditation on Krishna. And such mental absorption brought them inconceivable good fortune. So seeing that they could not go to the forest with all friends, they felt totally useless and burned with unbearable sorrow and separation from Krishna. And in this way, whatever little contaminations were there, they got exhausted and they became free from all material contamination. In this way, by fully surrendering to Krishna, they didn't felt unhappiness caused by depending on their husbands and friends. And then what happened is, because of contamination getting burnt, they experience pralay. Pralay is the last stage of love. So love also has different stages. So in this stage, their bodies diminished to nil. So their karmic bonds were cut. They gave up their bodies made of three qualities of material nature, Satguna, Rajoguna, Tamaguna. And they cast off this body like one cast off the old skin. Hmm. To attain the direct association of Krishna, who is sought throughout the Vedas, they received gorgeous spiritual bodies. So they gave up their metal bodies and they got spiritual bodies, which were endowed with all auspiciousness and attributes meant for serving the Lord. Immediately, they joined Nitya Siddha Gopis and blissfully approached Krishna. Thus, they achieved Krishna's association without giving up their bodies or taking another birth. So it is not surprising that those with strong desires for material enjoyment cannot attain revelation, whereas spiritual desires are of different nature. So those spiritual desires are indestructible. They have power to completely destroy one's material qualities. So Prabhupada would often say that you don't have to reduce or empty your mind with the desires. Fill it with spiritual desires. I'll like to add one more analogy. Prabhupada gives analogy of a bay. Bay is the place where river meets the ocean. So when there is low tide, river has river water and ocean has ocean water. But when there is high tide, ocean water enters in the river water. And for miles and miles, river water becomes like ocean water. So river water is compared to our mind filled with material desires, and ocean is compared to spiritual desires. So if we have cultivated enough spiritual desires, they overwhelm and overpower us so much that all the material desires lose their effect. So same thing Kavi Karnapur is speaking here. Hmm. So by desiring to serve the Lord, the gopis received non-material body, that means spiritual bodies. So without following any process, the gopis proved that attraction to Krishna is the greatest power in the universe. Somehow or the other, we have to develop that attraction for Krishna. Seeing approaching gopis, Krishna, who is called Ramanuj, younger brother of Balram, who embodies all arts, decided to bewilder them by acting deceptively. So, dressed in a simmering yellow cloth, Krishna stood in an attractive threefold bending form on the bank of Yamuna. And now comes the next episode. So, give me a minute, I'll just wait. So after learning the amount of sadhana gopis had performed, attraction which they have developed, now we will see how Krishna behaves with them. You can see in the next slide. Yeah. Okay, this one, yes. So Krishna spoke now to discourage gopis. So with his words, while simultaneously encouraging them with hidden meanings. So noticing the joy and anticipation on their faces, Krishna said, "Oh, you came here? Please come, welcome, welcome. All good fortune to you. So what can I do for you? Why have you come here?" And Gopi is saying, "Why have you come here?" And then Krishna said, "Why don't you speak?" It was very clear. They did tapasya for meeting Krishna on this day. Krishna played on flute to call them there. And now he's saying them, "Why have you come here?" And seeing their worried countenances, Krishna continued. He said, "Oh, lotus eyed girls, you seem to be wandering about as if still trapped in your houses. If you say that you have come here out of curiosity, huh, just to see Vrindavan, how is the forest, I can't believe you because of your disarrayed clothing. So if somebody goes for no scenic forest or seeing some scenic place, one is at least dressed nicely. But they had disarrayed clothing. So he said, it is not proper for a woman to look so odd in public. Women should be nicely dressed. No, why are you wearing clothes like this? Now he knows everything. He's teasing them. Your beautiful ornaments are all in the wrong places on your bodies. So it seems you have decorated yourself in a thoughtless way. So it's like he's criticizing. And then he says, "Oh, lotus eyed girls, I am worried that your health is in great danger. Hmm. By running here so hastily, you appear on the brink of exhaustion. The drops of perspiration hanging from your earrings look like pearls. The artful designs on your foreheads have become smeared due to heavy breathing. Your soft lips appear dried out, and your bodices are heaving." So, reading their minds, Krishna spoke more frankly now. He said, "Has something disastrous happened? That's why you come to me. If it had, your wanton actions would have made your husbands unhappy. So, your husbands must be very unhappy that you came here in the forest. How am I to tell whether your actions are beneficial or harmful? Did you ornament your half bodies by half ornamentation just for fun? Or is everything disarrayed due to your haste and longing to see me?" And then he says, "Actually, it is not possible for someone trapped in a cave to suddenly come out independently. So I doubt your husbands must have given you permission to come to the forest, right? That's why you came here." And then he looked at the gopis and he said, "Maybe you gopis have come because of your desire to enjoy independently. But how could that be? Because this is not the time for proper time for forest. Inauspicious twilight is quickly approaching, it's evening time, and the forest is full of dangerous beasts. So there are lions and tigers here. Hmm. As far as I am concerned, you may say, oh, that you don't have fear from beasts. So I feel no fear because I am a man. But suddenly there's no place for women to look for fun. So it is suddenly astonishing that you have fearlessly come here. So please listen to me. It is better for you to immediately leave this place. And now gopis were so angry, but Krishna had an inner meaning also. So the inner meaning is, gopis, you have no cause for fear in this forest. Because in Vrindavan, there are no ferocious and dangerous animals. Mitra nijadita avasa drutrut tarsakadikam. So in Vrindavan, everybody is a friend. Even lions and tigers have friendship with deers. Whether I am alone or with others, this forest always gives great pleasure. And since you have come to me, you should have no fear of this forest. Therefore, I recommend you stay here with me. So that was his real desire. And then Krishna looked at the gopis and said, "O restless eyed gopis, perhaps maybe you have come here with a desire to see the forest flowers and smell their fragrance. So you have come for that purpose." The inner meaning was, smelling the natural fragrance of your bodies has excited my attraction. Now I don't know what will happen by looking at you. Although you have seen the forest, you have not seen the creepers in detail. Now listen to me and understand all these things. I'll tell you in detail about these creepers. And then he said, "Look, it seems that the intoxicated bees humming within the flowering creepers are criticizing you like close friends. Therefore, you should not stay here, but go back to your homes. With their smiling flowers, the trees are also hinting that you should go home." So that's the advice of the trees also. So Krishna basically means to say that the bees are criticizing you for returning to your houses. Don't return to your houses. Though you desire to leave this place, the trees are preventing you with their flower smiles. So give me a minute. This uh, laptop is getting discharged. So give me a minute. Govinda. Yeah. Yes. So he says that bees are criticizing you for returning into your houses. So though you desire to leave this place, the trees are preventing you with their flowers and smiles. So they're welcoming. Stay here. Don't go home. And then Krishna says, "Look, the rays of light passing through the leaves of the trees and mixing with the shade at their bases look so beautiful. The birds, mistaking them for sesame seeds, are pecking at those spots of light. Oh, look there. Vrindavan is fragrant with sandalwood trees and filled with the drawn out sounds of cuckoos. The gentle wind is carrying the sweet scent of the blue lotuses, picked up from embracing the waves of Yamuna. So, although the deep forest is very attractive on account of its variety of trees and songbirds, it is not proper for women to come here alone in the dead of the night to see them. Therefore, accept my words, go to serve your husbands, and respect your in laws. So that's why my advice is go back to Vrindavan. But the inner meaning was he said that it is good that you have come here to see the forest. Now just stay here with me and don't go back. And after speaking to the married ladies, Krishna addressed the unmarried gopis. To unmarried gopis, he said, "O young girls with beautiful smiles, please hear me. The helpless babies and the young boys and girls are crying at home. Go feed them, milk the cows, let the calves drink their milk. Don't let your broad intelligence fall into the illusion." And the inner meaning was don't feed the children or the milk uh, children or milk the cows. Don't do these things. And do not have doubts about my fulfilling all your cherished desires. And now to all the gopis, Krishna said, your mothers, fathers, brothers, husband, everybody is looking for you everywhere. Therefore, my advice is return home. Don't pretend to be ignorant by saying we don't know anything. And the inner meaning was you should not fall into illusion and forget your desired goal. Please stay here and realize all your desires. And he continued to say to them, please go, don't stand here any longer. O lotus eyed gopis, I don't know why you are not moving from this forest. Why did you come here in the first place? If you intended to see me, you've seen me, you've fulfilled your desire. And anyway, you can see me at any time. You see me in the daytime also. So why see me at this time? So it's not right that chaste women like yourself should see me like this. Inner meaning was don't leave my forest goo, but stay here for a long time. So he said, oh lotus had gopis, if you ask the reason for your coming here, then I will tell you. You think that I don't know your motives? I know everything. Just by seeing you, I am not satisfied. So we must engage in more confidential affairs. If a person comes to you out of attraction, it is very wrong to ask him to leave. And then he speaks this famous verse. Sravana darshana dhyanad mayi bhavo kirtanat na tata sannikarsena pratiyat tatograhan. This is the exact verse which he spoke to the Dvij Patnis also. Hmm. Sravanat. हाँ. So na tata sannikarsena pratiyat tatograhan. So na tata sannikarsena. Direct association with me does not give me as much pleasure as dhyanat, meditating upon me, Sravanat, hearing about me, Darshanath, seeing my deity form. There's a Pratiya Tatograhan. Therefore, you should go home. O lotus eyed gopis, it is not proper for persons such as you to steal love from someone like me. So go home. And the inner meaning was direct association with me is far superior to meditating upon me, hearing about me, seeing my deity form. Therefore, don't go. O lotus eyed girls, just stay with me and render my love. And then he speaks to gopis. Oh, all attractive gopis, you should not renounce your service to your husbands. Follow the path of morality. Women who love their husbands should not act like this. Act like this person who's addicted to sin. And the inner meaning was the service you are giving to your husbands should be rendered to me, not to them. Now that I have seen you, I have lost interest in anything else. Since you desire me only and not your husband, you should not reject me. And then he says, intelligent woman should never reject her husband, even if he is full of all faults. He is misbehaved, deaf, dumb, deceased, penniless, or he's like a vine dropping all its flowers and about to die. What to speak of husband who is faultless? Certainly he can never be given up. So this is law of the Vedas and common tradition. So your pure character is imbued with these two norms of conduct. Yet you stand here fearlessly. Attraction to a man other than one's husband is always dangerous. It is contradictory both to both norms. Besides bringing defamation in this world, it is condemned, and especially for cultured persons like you. And the inner meaning was, since you are adhering in both standards on this extraordinary night, you are safe. So you should stay here with me. The attraction you have for me will give peace of mind, and it will deliver you from all sort of fears. And don't worry, you will not be criticized at all because you are not acting against any principles. And then Krishna begins to say, a proper wife has only one husband, and he should not be even look. She should not even look at another man. Chaste women do not do what you are doing now. So, respecting my words, you should accept this beneficial instruction and immediately leave for the forest. You should immediately leave this forest. And the inner meaning was, ordinary women cannot even see me, the best of the husbands. What to speak of touching me? So, in this way, nothing in the universe can compare with your good fortune. So, now follow my instructions and don't go home. Yeah. Yes. So, before I proceed, Rukmini Mata, you had a question? I thought,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes. Yeah, Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask that, like, in many places, the term used is flute, but in some places, like Murali, so is there any particular significance for that, or is just replacing flute with Murali?
okay, okay. Actually,
Because it,
there is
yeah,
Murli, Venu, and Bansuri. So,
okay,
Murli is generally played when Krishna wants to attract gopis.
okay, okay,
And they are even made of different substances. I don't remember them now.
okay,
One of them is made up of marble, another is made of wood, sorry, bamboo. So in this way, they are
okay.
also made of different. One is made of metal. So Krishna
Okay,
uses
so it
them.
is referring to different. So it is referring to different fruits then. Like when
Yes, yes,
Murli, it is
yes,
written. It is
yes. Murli is
okay.
different,
Okay.
Venu is different, and Bansuri is different.
Okay.
So one he
Thank
uses
you,
for
Prabhuji.
gopas, one he uses for cows, another he uses for gopis.
Okay. Okay. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Prabhuji.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So in this way, Krishna, who is the full moon of all 64 arts, stood beautifully bedecked with a garland as he tested the gopis' love with his clever riddles. So he was speaking something else and meaning something else. So his outer remarks directly oppose his inner motives. Krishna speaking was looking like autumn season, where one gets relief from the hot sun by entering in the cool water for a deep lake. So Krishna's behavior was looking like a jackfruit. Like jackfruit is very rough and pricky from outside, but from inside it is very sweet. Especially the ripened jackfruit. We are talking about ripened jackfruit. Or coconut also. It has such a hard shell from outside, but inside the pulp is so soft and the water of the coconut is so sweet and cooling. So Krishna's behavior was looking like that. So knowing his nature, one should not give up thinking that is too difficult to attain. So the intelligent and determined person can easily penetrate his heart cell and taste the delicious interior. Like find this in the personality of Lord Chaitanya also. Like in the case of Chota Haridas, externally he was so strong, Even as like devotee said that Chota Haridas has committed suicide, Lord Chaitanya said, very good. He did the right repentance. But actually, inside, Lord Chaitanya gave him perfection of life. He got his original Swarupa. And every day, when Lord Chaitanya would go to take bath in ocean, Chota Haridas would sing kirtans. So Chota Haridas got perfection of life. So Lord Chaitanya externally was very strong, but internally he has such a compassion for the devotees. Or Krishna resembles a banana flower that is soft and sweet from outside, sorry, inside, but hard from outside. So those who have eaten the sabji of banana flower know this. Fearing the hard skin, one should not abandon the honey nectar within. So one should bear whatever hardships come from external causes. Yeah. So like Saskuli Pistaka, sweet meat. Krishna concealed his soft interior with a rough exterior. So whether for testing or joking, such instructions are always perfect when coming from the master of comedy. So Krishna basically, he knew it was very clear they were doing tapasya for lives to meet Krishna. Krishna was now going to fulfill their desire. He called them. Now he's saying, why did you come here? Oh, you came to see the flowers in the forest. You saw them? Go back. You came to take my darshan. You're taking darshan, na? Now you can go back. And not good, there are so many wild animals here. They may eat you. Hmm. So he was just speaking externally. So through the special usage of words, Krishna conveyed his inner attraction and attachment to the gopis with external expressions like welcome, welcome, it is wrong to be attracted to other men, you should go. So in this way, Krishna spoke in a tricky way that the gopis, in order to resolve a difficult problem, that means they should understand his inner mood while not worrying for the external mood. This was one reason why Krishna was speaking like that, so that they can understand his inner mood. Second reason, Krishna did all these things to unite the opposing party of Radharani and Chandravali. That was the main reason. So that everybody could fully taste the rasa. Because whenever there is external calamity, people cooperate. People cooperate. So that's why he created devastation for both the parties so that they can come together and they should cooperate. So in this way, superficially he seemed indifferent, but within he realized the essence of sweetness. So blinded by their attachment, gopis only took the outer meaning and they couldn't understand the hidden reality of his words. And as you can see in the next slide, yeah. So as the prospects for pleasure were drying up, gopis' suffering reached intolerable proportions. On hearing Krishna's disheartening words, gopis felt as if they were stabbed by millions of swords, or stung by millions of scorpions, or bitten by black snakes, or burned by raging fires, or cut by lethal razors, or afflicted by high fevers, or pierced by spears, or poisoned in every limb of their bodies. The whole plant seemed empty. The three worlds felt hopeless. The universe felt devoid of bliss. The direction burned with pain. The earth was tasteless pile of ashes. They felt like they were dying a slow death. So in those difficult moments, they lost consciousness and they appeared like dolls made of hard bones. And within a few minutes, they recovered from fainting with the help of good goddess of consciousness. But due to the emotions swelling in their hearts, they were hurled into an even more extreme state of suffering. Tears streamed from their eyes, their faces faded, their lips trembled, drops of perspiration formed on their cheeks, they breathed erratically, their limbs hung limply, their beautiful armlets slipped off their arms, and the gopis felt ashamed of their love since they did not give up their lives after hearing their love's indifferent words. So they felt if we really had any love for Krishna, we would have given up our lives by hearing this. So, having accepted Krishna as their only shelter, they wanted to enter the lowest planet of out of shame. And that's why you can see in the ground here. They drew lines on the ground with toes of their lotus feet that signed like brilliant five-pronged engraving instruments. So ladies have this nature. Whenever they're disturbed in mind, they make lines in the ground. Even Lord Chaitanya would do that in separation from Krishna. So the life years of gopis, which were already fragile by nature, were now broken to pieces by acts of Krishna's harsh words. So although immensely disturbed, their life heirs could not escape because the vapors blocked their throats. And as these vapors condensed, it came in the form of tears from their eyes. Dead silent, the gopis were looking like figures painted on the canvas of the sky. The halahal poison of suffering, incapable of being contained within the gopis' throat, dripped out from the doors of their eyes as the tears mixed with their kajal came out. Astonishingly, those tears disappeared when they fell upon their tortured breasts. Did those tears enter their hearts that were previously poisoned by the loss of their life heirs? Or the hot breath rushing out of their noses evaporate the tears? So actually what happened is their hearts were so much pained and there was so much of heat there that it evaporated their tears. The hot breath rushing from their noses wilted their flower garlands which they had worn. The delicate flower petals on their lips were gone because of the hot exhalation. Tears stained black with kajal and looked like juice squeezed from essence of beauty. It fell incessantly from the lotus faces of the grief-stricken gopis. Somehow, this did not discolor their nose pearls which they were wearing. So all their nose pearls resembled drops of liquid beauty. They did not fall like the tears. They didn't drop off. Like seeds, they waited to produce the fruits of premaras, eager to reveal their individual emotions of pride or submission and to transform the anxiety of love. The gopis replied to Krishna. So, like the sweet humming of bees met to taste the honey of his face, gopis tried repeatedly to convey their exact desires. Why did we come here? Huh? Filling the darkness with a sparkle of their blackened tears, some submissive gopi group leaders, such as Bhadra, spoke quite conveyingly their sadness. So they conveyed, oh, how sad we are. There were other gopis like Padma and other submissive leaders who have rows of radiantly white but like teeth, darkened the night with their half closed eyes. So Padma and other gopis had half closed eyes, and that seemed like blind bees supported by the fragrance of their faces. So they spoke impudently to Krishna. So some gopis were showing that how they're sad. Padma and other gopis were showing how they are so upset. We called us here and no, you are behaving like this. Some bold Sakhis like Visakha spoke sweet words with ornamental intonations. So Visakha and other Sakhis, they were speaking very sweetly so that they can convey their message. At the same time, Krishna is not hurt. So her words, saturated with intense attraction, escape the comprehension of Saraswati. creating the forest of blue lotus flowers in the sky with their furtive glances and cluster of golden lotuses with their forms. Some bold leaders like Radhika, what they did? They spoke with ferocious anger. So Radharani was very angry. So that's why Radharani is sometimes called the left wing Gopi. So Chandravali and her gang is very submissive. They say, "Oh Krishna, how can you say like that?" Radharani, how can you say like that? So Radharani is very angry. So overcome with pride and possessiveness, Radhika, Lalita, Syama, their eyes reddened with and their faces sprinkled with hot drops of perspiration. They spoke to Madhava in angry mood. So they were angry. Radha, Lalita, Syama, Radharani and her gang basically. Lalita, Visakha, Syama. Chandravali and other submissive Sakhis hesitatingly divulged the strong desires in soft voices of full of entreaty. So Chandravali, because she's soft by nature, so they spoke very softly. So the breast moistened with blackened tears. Some of the Vraj Kumaris like Dhanna Sakhi were unmarried. The one who did Katyani Vrat spoke in choked voices due to their infutation and uncontrollable attraction for Krishna. So they had choked voice and they were speaking to Krishna. And now they begin to speak. As much as possible, we can try to speak about, Kavi Kanpur says, I'll try to speak about the natural sentiments. But actually, even Braspati, who's guru of Devtas, would not attempt to do such a task. Because only those who have that transcendental love can speak about this Srangaras. And then Kavi Kanpur says, O Rasik Vaishnavas, please don't make fun of my boldness because I'm trying to speak out this Srangaras. This is an attempt to curb the pride of so-called scholars of Rasa. So that's why I commit no offense in doing so. For though a person may be very unqualified, insignificant, and prematurely eager, still he can aspire to taste the rarest, sweetest substance of love. So it's just my sadhana, you can say, or it's my attempt. And now you can speak, see in the next slide. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So the most beautiful of all gopis spoke first. Yeah. So she said, Alas, O Krishna Chandra, you should not deliberately hurl us into lamentation with your harsh words, which burn our hearts like a painful ulcer. So to please the earth, clouds should shower rains, not poison. Your words are illogical and senseless. When it gets a chance to drink water from a cloud, why will lowly Chatki bird give up his friends and relatives just as one vacates a dark hole? So Chatki bird is so eager to drink cloud water, oh, she can do anything. So basically, so this is a response between difference between response of um, Dvij Patnis and Gopis. Dvij Patnis said, "Oh, Krishna is speaking very proper words," and they just left. Gopi said, "We won't leave. Our entire goal is to give you pleasure. We'll give you pleasure anyway." So, although angry, some gopis spoke pleasing words in humorous tone. So they said, "You have taught us proper duty of a woman. So you told us serve your husband, serve your son, serve your friends. Huh? As Shiksha Guru, may you keep that instruction to yourself. So whatever instruction you give to us, now keep with yourself only. Because your teaching does not apply to women like us." So their inner meaning was, First, you lure innocent girls in a lonely forest, and then you act like a guru, giving instruction about the duty. What is this nonsense? This is not proper. And then Krishna replied, he said, are you telling some hidden joke? Gopi said, no, this is not a joke. And they said, oh Madhusudana, the aspirations you cast on us are simply comical. Who is the lord of one who rejects her husband? Somebody rejected husband. Who is his lord? You could say that the son of another wife should take that role, because he should protect. But we will never accept that. O Lord of all creation, O ocean of all perfect qualities, whose feet are worshipped by Lakshmi ji also, you are our real husband. You are our real master. No one but you can kill the enemy of our mental anguish. So you are saying that go to your husband. You are our real husband. Another gopi said, oh dear one, any intelligent person is attracted to you, the soul of the three worlds. So you are saying, why you are attracted to me? Go back. Any intelligent person is attracted to you. What intelligent woman will worship her husband, son, or friends who are merely temporal being producing various miseries? So all the material relationship give us miseries. Why should we, if you're intelligent, why should we worship them? Worshipping you is the best path both for a simple or a cultured person. Not that no, you're cultured, you should go back. No. Even cultured person should worship you. So, oh remover of misery, you manifest unlimited variety in your personality. First, you alone attract our minds, and you are supposed to be our master. Yeah. In comparison with you, the sweetest nectar means nothing to us. Be pleased with us. Why? Because we are those who have surrendered unto you. So we should not lose spirit and sink into lamentation. We have come to you in the prime of our youth. So please don't cut down the tender creepers of our desires, which are as fresh as lotus petals covered with dew. Some other gopi said, oh Hari, after stealing our hearts, you brought us here. Now, how can we return to Vrindavan? So, O Lord, our feet refuse to move even one step from your lotus feet. So, O gallant thief, it is not proper for you to create a drought, for it will dry up crops of dignity in the minds of married women. So, now we will not go back. Other gopi said, wash off the dirt of this duplicitous joking. So, why are you duplicitously joking with us? Please sprinkle nectar on our lips, because our lips are burning like fire and they are as red as ripe bimba fruits. So quickly extinguish the fire caused by your cruel, exas- exasperating words. By giving up our bodies in the fire of disappointment, which were kindled by the wood of your indifference towards us, because of our improper desires, we will receive new bodies, and by new bodies, we will get your association. And then you will repent for murdering innocent women. Neh ke vada. So, in any case, whether we are accepted or rejected by you, you will experience suffering because of fear of separation from you. So, if we leave our body, we'll get you anyway. We'll do tapasya, again, we'll get you. But you will suffer if you don't accept us now. Some other gopi said, oh, one crowned with peacock feather. Since we have already felt unlimited bliss from touching your lotus feet once, before we have no attraction for another man. So already we have given up attraction for other men. So where the question of going back to our husbands? You are eternally situated with a perfect form and shelter of matchless beauty. So we attend so much pleasure upon meeting you that we can't think of touching another person. Therefore, please accept us. After crossing the mental realm in order to enjoy with you, We don't deserve to suffer this agony of going back to our relatives. Being dear to the residents of Vrindavan, please protect your loving servants. Then Srutichari's Gurpi said, they said, in this Vrindavan, married women are attracted at your lotus feet. Just as Lakshmi Devi in Vaikuntha, although she is situated in your chest, she competes with Tulsi Devi to worship you because Tulsi sits on her feet. So, deliverer of distressed and surrendered souls, don't abandon us. Then Munichari Gopi said, O ocean of mercy, we left our houses and came to you. So be pleased with us, whose minds are agitated due to the intoxicating bliss of tasting the petals of your lotus feet. So, crest jewel of all men, you purchased us with your latest lips, sparkling smile, pleasing youthful appearance, and your nectarine words, which have the power to destroy any amount of pain. So, if you give us nectar of your lips, all pains will be gone. So, now engage us in your service. We want to serve you, accept our service. Our minds have become strong from receiving the merciful sidelong glances of your reddened eyes. So, we are already strong. Now we can't give you up. Srutichari Gopi said, we have become very greedy to please you. After seeing your sweet lips, nectarine smile, swinging jeweled earrings, Makar Kundal, which reflects on your cheeks, our hankering to serve you have further enhanced by seeing your pink lotus hands and splendid arms which extend up to your knees and which can deliver anyone from fear. So please restore our lives with the honey of your sweet smile. Immediately embrace us in your mind as we are filled with love in the mood of your servants. Then there was some Nitya Siddha Gopis, they said, O opulent one, who bestows all auspiciousness, O jewel among men, you are the abode of all good qualities. Since you are all attractive, what fault is there even if we are attracted to you? So you are saying that you are attracted to me? You are Krishna. You are all attractive. So if we are attracted to you, we are not at fault. Upon hearing the sound of flute, what woman in the three worlds would not be attracted to you? So glorious and beautiful one, who would not be lured from their position of chastity? Who would not sacrifice their character and give up reputation of their family to meet you? Since you are the cause of all wonder in the eyes of the three worlds, you are the reservoir of all auspiciousness, the shelter of absolute beauty, the sweetest of the sweet, and the pleasurable object of all endeavors of young women. Even the female deer, birds, animals become struck with love and show goosebumps on their bodies upon seeing you. Huh? So if birds and beasts become attracted to you, we are human beings. So it is natural for us to be attracted to you. So, great one, it is well known that you destroy the suffering of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. You are the origin of Narayan and the protector of the Devatas. So, you protect everyone, so you can't reject us. Therefore, therefore, after we have come to you in the middle of the forest, you can't reject us. And then they say, oh, friend of the distress, don't be stubborn. Oh, son of mercy, please place your cooling hands on our burning breast and heads and remove the pain in our hearts. Delight our minds. May you be successful in removing all of the pain from our hearts caused by your indifference. What more can be said? And then the intimate associates of Radharani, they said, after putting the bait of conjugal affairs on the hook of your flute song, you pulled us here like person who catches a fish puts a bait and then pulls him. Similarly, You pull us here with the rope of your good qualities. And then, after piercing us with the rod of harsh words, which you just spoke, you roasted us in the fire of indifference. So, first by fruit, you called us, then you spoke harsh words, you pierced us, and now you're indifferent, you are roasting us. Tell us, why did you do like that? And then now Krishna replied. So we'll just end with this conversation and we'll continue in the next class. So Krishna replied, my dear gopis, I play on my flute because of my boundless nature of bliss. So it's my nature to be blissful. So I played on my flute. So that's why it is not my fault if married women become agitated by this sound. You became agitated, it's your fault, not my fault. So why are you finding faults in my flute, which come from such a pure family? So just see this flute. Flute is not crooked, it is straight. It has no knots throughout its length. Gopi said, Krishna, you are at fault. Because when you played on a flute, we are not just playing on the flute. Actually, you called our names. And Krishna began to defend. He said, no, no, no. I don't blow into the flute at all. Somehow the wind blew in the flute by itself and made sound. So on its own, the flute clearly calls out your names because flute knows all of you, na. That's why flute called you. I didn't call you. I never played on the flute. Gopi said, even then you are in fault. Why? Because you are a respectable personality. If you feel that flute has called us, you should not associate with this flute. And anyway, flute has so many holes. So it has holes in the character. Its limbs are hard. Top of that, it is hollow from inside. So obviously, your fruit doesn't come from good family. And because this fruit is talkative in nature, it ruins the reputation of others also. So that's why your fruit is not qualified to talk with cultured persons like all of us. So if you're associating with this fruit, it is your flaw. You're at fault. And Krishna said, "Oh gopis, I see your great boldness in belittling the constant companion on my lotus hands, this fruit. Actually, this flute is very form of bliss and knowledge. It is essence of all sounds. It is goddess of music. It's cream of Vedas and Upanishads. So out of great love for me, it has taken this curious body with 9 holes. So although what play of Radhika's associates had reached to its limit, Krishna, beaming with eagerness, persisted in delivering clever retorts. So gopis, who were perfect embodiment of rasa, detected a slight smile on Krishna's face. So they understood that indifference of the crest jewel of wit had come to an end. So Krishna, whatever he wanted to like befool us, has come to an end. Now he's showing that he's ready actually, ready for Aslila. So with full of desire to enjoy, they conquered the conqueror of thousand of cupids, used the limit of intelligence to present crazy illogical arguments. So how he further as Raslila, we will continue in the next class. Hari Hari. श्रील कवि कर्णपुर की जय, नंद नंदन मोर मुकुंद वंशी वाले कृष्ण भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यश्च च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रपाद की जय।
True.
Very good.
हरि हरि।